Is it really? Is that Commander Hugh-Man? I think it
Maybe.
might be Dan Smith. Here he is.
Hello.
IDK George at the end here. This is George Johnson, the wonderful George Johnson. Give it up for George Johnson.
Hello.
And someone who's not really a dog. It's the lovely Mad Dog, everybody.
Hey.
So, I was gonna hand over to a wonderful MC. They promptly ran off to the bar. Typical. So, I'll begin this. James.
Hello.
Why do you stream? What sort of things have you been streaming?
I'm mainly a streamer of Elite Dangerous when I do stream, but most recently I've been known for the 24-hour live streams, which have become an annual thing. I do them every summer and just pick a different charity each time, and yeah, 12 o'clock on Saturday to 12 o'clock on Sunday, I just play a variety of games and people come in, throw money at me for it, apparently.
That's wonderful. The last one you did, I gather, was for special effects, is that right?
No, it wasn't.
Oh, the previous one. The one before that?
I've
Clearly a
yet
busy
to do
boy.
a charity stream for special effect, but it's on the plan.
Excellent, okay. So who did you give the last one you did to?
The last one was for NAS, which is a relatively small charity. It's the National Ankylosing Spondylitis Society, which is all about less known but nonetheless debilitating form of inflammatory arthritis that mainly affects young people.
Well, that's wonderful.
And we raised just over £1,000.
Excellent, round of applause. Thanks, James. It's lovely to have you on the panel. Thanks for joining us. Now, got little John Virgo there. Look at John. Look at John. Go on, give us a squee. We're all waiting for it. There you go. Look, it's a live crash squee. Okay, John, so you are a professional game streamer.
Semi-professional.
You've even been branded by the company. This happens when you become a professional streamer. If you'd like to just... okay, so there we are. So there's Karash. Has actually been branded by Elite Dangerous.
Wow.
And Karash, come rain or shine, will be streaming Elite Dangerous every single week, I think, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Every single week, so he's going to run through the newsletter and all this sort of thing. He is a hub of the Elite Dangerous community, and I'm sure you all know him already. So, Karash, how did you go from uber fan of Elite to professional streamer for Elite?
Sheer chance. No. it was just like this fantastic combination of coincidence and just putting in all of the effort of doing it every single week. Like, you know, I wanted to raise awareness of the game. That was my main goal when I first started streaming. Was definitely I saw it was a gap that currently no one was really streaming about the game, because it was just coming up to about alpha time then, and I saw that you know, the dev diaries were fantastic, but there was no kind of interaction directly with the community, and that was something I really wanted to start, and it just grew from that, and it was absolutely fantastic to do, because now it's kind of turned into this weekly, get a member of the community to come and be a guest, and that is just, it was never planned, but it just grew into this fantastic bit of feedback, and I love doing it. That's what I love about it as a community. It's been...
Well, that's brilliant. You're well known for being a painfully passionate guy, frankly, and it's a real pleasure to have you on the panel. Next, we're going to move on to Dan Smith, who streams as Commander Hugh-Man. Dan is a ridiculously talented natural musician. This is me bigging you up, Dan, so just take the compliment. And he also streams a variety of games, including No Man's Sky, I gather, while it was still playable.
I streamed that for the 24 hours when it came out, yeah.
Fantastic.
And then didn't, ever again.
And you also released a wonderful parody track of the No Man's Sky as well. It would be lovely to potentially hunt that down and play that in the after party.
That's on the YouTubes, yeah. Indeed. It's on the YouTubes.
So yeah, Dan, you stream an awful lot. You've recently gone to America to stream, right?
I went to TwitchCon, San Diego, the big Twitch convention.
How was it?
Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Just, you know, the networking and stuff, and just everyone. It's amazing when you go somewhere where everyone does the same thing that you do, and everyone has the same sort of, you know, goals and the same sort of stuff like that, and everyone's kind of like got the same grievances, and you can sort of go, oh, why did they do that? And oh, Twitch and all, and sort of. But yeah, no, it was amazing, really, really amazing fun, and just basically thanks to everyone that watches me and supports me on streams. Like, that's my job. I do it full time. I put in about 60 hours a week streaming and about another 40 hours a week networking and you know, community stuff, and yeah, in
That's
return,
awesome.
everyone kind of sends me off on amazing trips and stuff. So, you know, I
That's
wouldn't be
great.
here if it wasn't for Twitch. So,
We watch you because we love you, man.
Thank you.
We watch you because we love you.
appreciate it.
So you find that bouncing off the other Twitch streamers, particularly the kind of professional Twitch streamers in these kind of events, potentially helps develop the platform itself? Because presumably Twitch is watching, right? So if you do have any of the grievances you mentioned or anything, you know.
Well,
do you find
they're
that
not.
platform
They're not watching. They're not. You know, it's not like Big Brother or anything. You know, they don't. I'm not that important that they come into my streams and keep an eye out. I've got a partner rep and stuff, but I don't know. No, the best thing, like what I found is with going to conventions like TwitchCon, where there are thousands of people, literally thousands of people, when it's just like a sea of purple, and you're sort of mingling around. I mean. I would say that like the group that we were in, there were lots of non-partner streamers there. There were partner streamers there. There were people on a similar level to me. People a little bit higher, a little bit lower. We were walking around, and people like Dan's Gaming would walk past, and people like you know, Man vs Game, and you know, you had Co-Carnage and streamers that get like 10, 15,000 viewers are just walking about, you know, doing photos, or they're just walking about. The guy who's the Kappa remote, Josh, he was up in the partner lounge, just sat there like looking like Kappa, just like. He looks so pissed off because it's basically his job is just to turn up at conventions and have people have selfies with him. That's it. That's all he does. He gets paid to just be the Kappa guy. So he's just sat there, and you're just it's surreal.
So his fame has kind of overtaken his actual job of what he does then.
But
do you hope to get there, Dan, or do you always want to keep the streaming core?
to be honest, I think with Twitch, if I would give any advice to someone on Twitch, I'd say it's just a case of effort and time. Obviously, you have to kind of have a little bit of competence for what you're doing. But if you've got the core, like sort of skills down, which interaction, community building, you approach it as not primarily as a way to like make a living or a career. That's what if you find you've got an aptitude for it, then naturally that will kind of appear as an option on the horizon, and you'll kind of work towards it. But if you just put in a lot of time and a lot of effort and you sort of go for it, I think the good thing about Twitch is the sky's the limit. If you want to aim to have like a viewer base of thousands of people, it's not impossible. It's not like people would say, oh, I'll never get there. It's like you can, because the guys that are doing it now that have got 10,000 viewers have been doing it for 6 years. So it's to put the time in.
It is the scalable dream of being able to do it from your bedroom or from the Karash lounge.
Oh God, I mean, like I met a guy who's actually an English streamer called LT Zonda. I met him on the plane, and I was chatting to him on the plane at the airport. He's got 360,000 followers on Twitch. He's sponsored by Nvidia and Intel. He is like an Nvidia partner streamer, so he gives away 1070s and 1080s because he gets them to give away. He lives in his mum's house still. He's like, oh, at some point I'm hoping to move out with my mate and we'll get our own place. I was like, well, you get like hundreds and up to thousands of views. He's on the front page. The Twitch emails go out with him, like saying, come watch him and stuff.
Wow.
So it's not, you look at people and you think, oh, wow, they must be like in mansions and stuff. Like, no, they're still living with their mum.
It's really nice that there's not that fame hierarchy.
I don't know. I think most of the people that I met out there, sorry, I realise I'm just going on and on and on. There's not too much of a clique. There is a little bit. You always get that in that sort of communities, but everyone's mainly quite helpful and quite willing to talk to you because everyone started there. And some people are there, and some people are there, and some people are there, but everyone's kind of pushing each other up at their level. So it's, everyone's kind of knows the grind of doing that sort of career path. So yeah, it's interesting.
Well, that's cool. Well, thanks for that, Dan. Yeah. Moving on to dear Mad Dog. Some of you will know him. If you don't, go and say hi to him. He doesn't bite, and he's not a real dog.
Not actually a dog.
Yeah. Well, welcome. Mad Dog is one of the actors from the Echoes from the Hold recording. You saw him in the video there. Now, Mad Dog, you're here to talk about your streaming and stuff. Now, you do stream an awful lot of games. You do a lot of GTA 5 stuff, a lot of Elite stuff as well. What I wanted to get you up here on this panel for is the fact that you are affiliated with various organisations, including Special Effect, HCS Voice Packs and stuff. How did that sort of business relationship, if you like, because, I mean, you're helping to push traffic toward the Special Effects site and the HCS site, but how did that sort of arrangement come about? Was it conventions like this, or was it, did you approach them yourself, or did they approach you? What happened?
Well, actually, I mean, that's a really interesting story. I got talking to Paul from HCS Voice Packs when I did a charity stream back in March last year to raise money for the Alzheimer's Society in memory of Terry Pratchett after he died. And I did a 12-hour stream and started promoting it and what have you, and got some assistance from Kate Russell and other streamers who I'd been getting to know over the period of streaming Elite Dangerous. And it was actually someone who worked for HCS who approached me and said, would you like some of our codes to give away during the course of your charity stream? And I was like, oh yeah, I'll bite your hand off. And we also brought Paul on. We had a bit of a discussion about how he got started and everything like that. And the relationship grew from there. And then from there, getting to meet other streamers who had other, they had charities that they like to support and what have you. That's how I got introduced to Special Effect, and then got to know Baz and what have you. So it's really, you get the inspiration for who you hook up with from the weirdest places, just a random Skype message or an email or something like that. But then you form that relationship, and suddenly you find yourself in Tunbridge Wells in a recording studio watching Tom Baker record stuff, and then suddenly you're thrust in front of a mic yourself. So it's quite odd.
It was an odd experience, I must admit. When Mr. Baker walked into the green room at the studios we were in, of course, we were all immediately starstruck. I think I managed to squeak out a, "Hello, Mr. Baker." And he was sitting there at the door waiting to go in, and Paul from HCS, who you met earlier on the earlier panel, popped his head in and said, "Hey, Naomi," and said, "Mr. Baker, are you okay to just wait here for 2 or 3 minutes while we get your studio ready?" He said, "Oh, yes, of course, but don't take too long. I am quite old." Forgive the impromptu Tom Baker impression, that's rubbish. Thank you very much, Mad Dog.
You're welcome.
Right, moving on to the wonderful George Johnson. Yes,
Hello.
This is Gemma Johnson's little brother, but he's a human being all his own as well, look. George, are you on? Are you okay?
I don't know. Am I?
You
Can
are.
You hear me?
You sound beautiful, George.
Thank you.
George puts out a variety of videos and stuff, goes to all sorts of events, and tell us what you do, George. First of all, I have to ask the question, unless it's a trade secret. You put out videos on YouTube as IDK George.
Yes.
I've been referring to that as I don't know George, just purely because it helps me remember the order of the letters in the acronym. What does IDK George stand for, or is it a trade secret?
This is a secret I'm willing to share with you.
Wow, okay.
It's a first-time thing. Well, it's open to all interpretations, I guess, really. But originally, I made it with the intention of it being kind of, George. I don't know, George. George, yes.
I was right.
Well, I was thinking of a name for about a month, because I was like, yeah, I'm going to make a channel, but I didn't know what to call it. It's a big thing. So, I don't know, George, I guess. You're
Perfect.
welcome.
There we go.
So has it changed from I don't know George to I do know George?
Yes, it is now with all the followers.
Yeah,
he's
well, there you
getting.
go.
Okay, so George, I've watched a few of your videos. They're hilarious, frankly.
Thank you.
Do you do all your own video editing and stuff as well?
Yep.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's 100% me, my channel.
Fantastic, it's ace. You've also done lots of coverage of various events and stuff. What's the last one you went to? You went to some kind of huge, was it a YouTube event?
Yeah,
down
it's
in
like
London?
a huge convention in London called Summer in the City, based at the XL. Absolutely huge, just full of people that watch YouTubers or are YouTubers or both. It's a brilliant atmosphere.
And I gather you actually got noticed when you went down there. How did that feel?
Oh God, no, that was terrifying. I kind of walked in there after 5 minutes of being I was just looking for my friends, and suddenly people were like, "Oh, George!" I was like, "You don't know me? What? Who are you?"
I guess you're going to have to get used to, if you guys are going to put your faces out there, random strangers are going to approach you. I know you.
Yeah.
What's quite nice, I think, though, is that even if people say, "Oh, people know you because you do Twitch," it's like even if you're a really famous person on Twitch or YouTube, you're still not necessarily a famous person generally. So it's like Twitch famous or YouTube famous. You're only like well known in your little bubble of social media or whatever. So if you walk around, you're not going to get recognised by like, Mrs. Jones. She's not going to be like, "Oh, you're that guy that's on YouTube." It's like,
Sort of community famous, if you will, yeah.
But that's nice though, because even if you got to a higher level of being known on Twitch or YouTube or whatever, you still can walk around and not worry about harassment or anything. If you're a celebrity, you've got this risk of harassment or risk of people trying to stalk you or do horrible things or something. So it's much less likely, I think, when you're doing broadcasting and stuff like that, which is kind of
It's
nice.
a very kind of specific audience.
Yeah, and I guess the great thing about being sort of, as you say, community famous essentially, is that the community that you're famous in is clearly a community that you're all passionate about.
Yeah.
So as a result, it's always going to be
You
friendly.
kind of, that's the nice thing that I like about Twitch is that you don't do it deliberately, but you end up curating a group of people that you get on with. Because
Yeah,
people come in,
absolutely.
they either stick around in your stream because they like your music taste, they like your personality, they like the things that you like and dislike. Like, that's the great thing. If someone comes into a stream and you're ranting about how you hate a certain band or how you like this, if they don't agree, they'll probably just leave and won't come back. So what happens is over time you end up with just a lovely group of people that are all like, oh, I love this song you're playing. Oh, I love this game you're playing. You know, it's brilliant, and you just get a group of friends. It's great.
It sounds a little odd, but almost like a slow purification over time. But that sounds a little bit weird. But okay. Right, okay, guys. So we're going to move on, but before we do, if you guys are happy to take a few questions, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Q&A from the audience, please. I'm going to ask a favour from one of my dear core team to come and take the mic off me and handle the questions. Fancy that job, Mr. Usher? Awesome. Okay, here we go then. So a little round of applause for Stephen Usher stepping into the breach because my voice is failing. Thank you very much, Commander. Okay, and any questions, just pop your hand up.
No one.
The little boy at the back has a question. Did anyone bring his mum?
First 10 people to ask questions get free biscuits.
Woo!
My question's to Dog.
That include me.
Dog,
Yes.
do you regret telling people you ran out of fuel?
He didn't tell anyone.
Thank you, everyone.
It wasn't a case of you telling people, was it?
I didn't tell anybody at all.
No.
I didn't. I think the entire thing behind that was the sheer hubris of it all, saying the day before that the fuel rats are for idiots who run out of fuel. And then the following day contacting my friend because I'd run out of fuel and didn't realise he was streaming at the time. But thank you for bringing it up, Bubble. Does your mum know you're here?
This is a workout and a half, isn't it?
He's wearing the right cloth.
Hello. Is a Jaffa cake a cake or a biscuit?
Cake. It is a cake.
It's a damn cake.
Cake.
It's a
Cake.
I do have a follow-on question. It's
quite unanimous.
What would you say is the biggest cardinal sin of streaming?
I've got a few of these, I think.
Go.
Because there's kind of like an unwritten stream etiquette amongst kind of other streamers, at least. I think one of the main cardinal sins is if you go into another streamer's stream and say, "Hey guys, I'm about to go live."
Yeah. Poaching
You know,
viewers.
that's like someone coming in here and saying, "Hey guys, there's another convention down the road. It's really cool. They've got like, you know, a free bar. Hey." You know, so yeah, that's one thing that I don't know, as a streamer, if someone comes in and I welcome promotion. Like, I've got shout out command, so if you want to promote someone, that's great. But if you're gonna come in and say that someone is, or you're going live right now, or someone else is live while you're doing it, that's for me is a bit of a no-no. Yeah.
Backseat gaming as well.
Oh,
Viewers who come in, please, if you do watch us on Twitch and you come in, you go, no, don't do it like that, do it like this. No, you're doing it wrong. This is the wrong build. This is the wrong. Just let us get on with it. We're rubbish. We know this.
See, I don't mind it in some games. Like, if I'm playing a game that someone in the chat already knows how to get past the next bit, like a game like Alien Isolation or a campaign game, if I'm really, really stuck and getting really frustrated, it's like, someone just tell me what to do. Please just tell me where to go and what to do.
Invite it, yeah.
Yeah, invite it.
Yeah.
Just say,
That's
someone let
kind
me,
of
brilliant, thanks, right, I'm okay now, I'm on my own, you know.
There's kind of that, but also if you're playing a sort of puzzle game, like I had this when I was playing Undertale at one point. There were these sort of, I don't remember it very well, but I think it was some sort of block sliding puzzle on ice or something like that. And people who obviously knew the puzzles.
See, Undertale,
trying to hint at the answers, and I'm trying to work it out.
That game has a proper. If you stream Undertale, you'll instantly get an influx of people that love the game.
Yeah,
because It's
yeah.
got a massive. It's like a cult following, and everyone that loves it knows all the characters, knows all the script, knows everything about it, and there's loads of fan artwork and loads of videos and loads of songs, and they'll come in and go, "Oh no, you didn't do this," and they'll start saying things that you don't know what they're saying, but it's like in jokes with Undertale.
Yeah.
And they're just oh man, that game. Oh. Spoilers though, spoilers as well. People will come in and say, "Oh, are you at this bit yet?"
Ah, yes.
Especially when you're doing
Thank
a
you.
first play.
Oh, did you realise that this character dies right at the end? Yeah, I've been playing the game for 30 minutes, thanks. Cheers.
We all know that streaming is an emotional ride sometimes. And what, for every one of you, what would be the most emotional thing you've come up with in one of your streams, either through the chat or happening in your stream? I think I can know of a couple of you guys already, a couple of bits, but
Emotional things in streaming.
I think for me, the most emotional moment was when we were doing the Terry Pratchett stream for Alzheimer's Society, and we'd done a 12-hour stream, but because the page was open for a month for donations, I kept streaming for the charity up until the very last moment, and I broke down in tears when we smashed the £5,000 barrier, and thank you. But it wasn't just the fact that everyone had piled all their money in. Some of the most amazing, generous people here, and I'd like to point to that man, Mr. Psycho Cow, who is probably one of the most selfless and generous people in our community. You can always count on this man to come in and just drop a massive donation on you and break you live. But after that, after we broke the £5,000 barrier, I left the station in my spaceship to fly out and say goodbye to everybody, and people had formed, it was like a salute. And there was 30 or 40 people there, all in their spaceships, ready to say goodbye.
Oh, God.
And we flew away with them all, firing lasers and shooting missiles and giving a 21-gun salute. It was the best moment ever. And a lot of you here, well, I see you.
Thanks for setting the bar, dog. Thanks for setting the bar. It's going to be hard to beat that.
No problem, mate.
To be honest, like, for me, again, like, whether it's charity or whether it's anything, whether it's personal stuff on stream, my Twitch stream has basically enabled me to keep streaming, to keep living, to keep paying my bills, to pay my rent. When I had to move house, everyone basically smashed a huge donation goal in like 3 days, so that I could actually pay a deposit and move to another place, to another town. And just, I still, even after a year and 3 months of doing it, it still just knocks me for six. When someone just will come in and you'll see a thing pop up and alert, and I'll look at the other screen, it'll be like someone has donated £100. I'm like, fuck. It doesn't, like, you don't get complacent with it. It just knocks me for six every time. That someone could like give me 100 of their hard-earned pounds for being a dick and talking about how I like games and chatting rubbish on a freaking TV screen for like 7 hours. So that just knocks me back still. So
I've got to go back to the charity thing because, like I said, I've done some charity streams before, but you know, a lot of people say they can't donate. You know, people in the chat pop up saying, "Sorry, I can't actually put any money towards this," but it really doesn't matter.
No,
because in the end, when they show the enthusiasm and they spread the word, and all of this commitment towards the stream. You know, I'm just sitting there doing stupid stuff like exploding and throwing my face into a bowl of What's-Its. Did happen. And yeah, but all of the enthusiasm that you see from all these people, and when people share their stories with you as well. Because I did the ankylosing spondylitis stream this year, and I did cancer last year. And obviously these things affect loads and loads of people, and when they come and say that they've had experiences with these things, and they're really grateful that you're doing this to support, it feels to them like quite a personal thing, like you're supporting them and supporting their family. And that to me is really, really special.
Yeah, I think...
How much preparation do you do for a stream, or do you just wing it?
What?
Anyone? Everyone?
Didn't hear the question.
Oh, sorry. How much preparation do you do for a stream, or do you just wing it?
Oh wow. Can I go first?
Yeah, go for it.
I think once you've been doing it for a set amount of time, the preparation gets easier because it's like going to work. It is a job. Like if you do it for, you guys do you do a job anyway.
Yeah.
So you have to do it on top. Again, I'm lucky because it is my sole job, my sole income, so it is the only thing I have to think about when I get up in the morning. But for me, it's like I get up, have coffee, that's it, turn on the computers, load up all the programs that you need to do, and by the time you've been doing it for 6 months, a year and a bit, you just do, I need that, I need that, I need that, I need that, make sure that's going, do a few checks, and then, but content-wise, probably only prepare like on the day. It's like, what am I going to do today? I might know what game I'm playing in advance, but then it's, if you think about being a gamer as a non-streamer or doing YouTube and stuff, if you're just someone that likes games, you might go, oh, what do I feel? Oh, I feel like playing that. So you can't really prepare as a non-gamer. You don't go, tomorrow I'm definitely going to play that game for 3 hours at 3 p.m. You sort of wake up and go, do I feel like Elite today? Yeah, I feel like Elite today. Do I feel like Warframe? Do I feel like whatever? So for me, the preparation is just what am I going to play, more or less. The technical stuff is all kind of, off the pat, so...
I think for me, it's definitely evolved. I remember the very first Elite Alpha stream was about 2 minutes and 30 seconds. It's like, run home from work, kick the boys out the room, get out, Dad is playing this. Like, the Space Game's out, yes. But yeah, it definitely evolved. Like Dan was saying, it was like the background stuff, the setting up the banners and things like that. It's gradually progressed, and it's just there. But now if I do like a special thing, like the Elite Retro stream I did a couple of weeks back, that was a couple of days of tweaking around with the emulators, and I was trying desperately to get the physical Amiga working, but yeah, unfortunately it's a bit dead. But yeah, it depends on what I'm doing. But definitely with Elite Dangerous, it's probably about 5-10 minutes rushing after getting the kids into bed, get the green screen up, get everything on, get the camera, get everything running. But yeah, 100 mile an hour all the time. Maybe.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it really depends on the stream, doesn't it? I'm sorry, I can't really see you very well, Michael. Unfortunate speaker placement, but it depends on the stream really. If it's just a sort of, if you've been doing it for a while, you've got your setup, you're really confident with it, you can pretty much just open everything and get going. 24-hour streams like mine take sometimes months of preparation, making sure you've got publicity, planning the content, planning the guests.
See, my last 24-hour stream, I decided to do it on the day I woke up. I woke up at 10 o'clock in the morning. I was like, do you know what? I feel like doing this 24 hours today. And then started at midday, and then we just did it.
And that right there is the difference.
Impulsive, bad planner.
So sometimes the need just falls upon you.
That's the thing, though. You can't always plan to do with things like that. Like I said, sometimes you feel like playing a certain game. Sometimes you don't. You can't. If you plan something too far in ahead, sometimes when you get to it, you're not in the right frame of mind or don't have the mindset to it. And that makes it much more difficult. And again, like preparing for streams, if you wake up on a day and you're like, I'm streaming today, but you start streaming and it's not going well, or you're just not in the right mood, I'll just kill it. Just say, right, it's not happening today. Sorry.
Completely agree.
Like, wanted to do 5 hours, 7 hours, whatever, but it's just not happening. We'll see tomorrow. So there's always that element of organic.
Yeah.
You have to.
Things can always go slightly wrong.
I also feel
like
they always do.
Anyone who's watched one of my streams
Audio
knows that
trouble.
70% of the time I completely forget to turn the sound on, and I don't notice until about 10 minutes in, and people are screaming at me in the chat.
I think.
See, with 24-hour streams, you find right. So here's a question, so who here has done 24 hours? Have you guys done 20? Have you done 24?
I'm too old to do a 24-hour stream. You're all young pups.
Oh, young? Okay, all right. Have you done 24-hour event?
I like sleep.
Okay.
I like getting plenty of it, so no.
Yeah. Okay. So you've done a fair few.
I've done 2, yeah.
Okay. I think I've done about 10 or 11. I always find hour 17 is kind of like hour 17 is like the 11th hour, even though it's the 17th hour. That makes no sense. 17 is like when you start to sort of go, oh, I can't be bothered to do this anymore. Go to bed.
It's that bit where you start
like
reclining
the wall,
back
like
in
runners
your
have a
office
wall,
chair.
and endurance streamers have a yeah. It's just like,
I salute you.
Got to push through. But that's fun. Yeah, 24-hour streams are good fun.
Yeah,
great fun.
Okay, guys, thanks very much for that. We've got a question from Twitch, but
those guys didn't actually answer Mike's question.
Terribly sorry. Go ahead, Doggy. Let's have that.
What?
I've no idea. Dan's just.
You didn't get a chance. We basically just commandeered the whole response.
Yeah,
so just ignored you.
I was just on about
George can have
My
the next one.
response to the question, I honestly feel like completely the odd one out here. I put next to no preparation at all into my stream, so I've done about 5 or 6 streams, so it gets to about 11 o'clock at night. I'm like, I fancy streaming. So I go on Instagram, I get about 20, 30 viewers, and just usually consists of a very sleep-deprived George just going, die. It's embarrassing as hell.
Fair enough.
But yeah, so yeah, about 10 minutes preparation, that's about it.
And how about you, Doggy?
Well, for me, I usually fly by the seat of my pants most of the time, unless I'm doing a rant with pictures, and then I can take up to 8 hours to prepare.
That's wonderful. Just a little addition to that last question, then. Moof was wondering, because sometimes, like you said yourself, Karash, you're rushing right at the end, trying to get everything done. You said the same yourself, Dog. When you guys are streaming, are you always fully clothed?
Never.
Define fully.
You know
Pants on, I think.
Pants on.
Pants on.
Pants tend to be on.
I like the stream.
I mean,
with
the
everything
camera only shows from around about there upwards.
Yeah, so you wouldn't know.
So maybe we should just leave it to the imagination and just not say any more about it.
Yeah,
This is why I don't go on camera.
It's okay now in the winter, but
I mean,
in the
you
summer,
can never usually see my hands on a stream, so. But they're generally on the joystick.
Fan art's always appreciated.
And I think we'll leave that question there. If I may. That's fine. Okay, we've got a few questions coming in on Twitch, so just bear with me a second. Arms Like Noodles asks, how do you cope with streaming pressure when you schedule a stream or take time off from streaming? Are there any fears you battle, and how do you handle it?
Only
Time
heard
off?
the
What's
last-
that?
Is it?
Only heard the last half, sorry.
Is it? Did you say fears we have about taking time off from streaming? So, yeah.
Essentially, yes.
I think I always worry about it. I'm always paranoid. I always kind of worry that I'm letting everyone down if I don't manage to do something on Friday. But normally I get everyone telling me, it's like, don't be daft. You haven't missed a week for through 2 years. It's okay if you have a Friday night off. But I'm like, I don't want to let anyone down. So I'm
Does that in some way make it worse, though? I mean, so that the longer you do it without missing a beat for 2 years now, as you say, 2 years and running. The idea of missing a Friday, the idea of missing the newsletter run through. It's what you're known for, man. It's what we all love you for.
Yeah, I always feel like I need to make up for it somehow by, doing more hours next week or doing another one at another time or something like that, or popping in on someone else's stream to make up the time. But yeah, I always feel guilty about it.
Yeah, same. I mean, it's my livelihood. When I went to TwitchCon, I was away for a week. Luckily, I managed to actually stream out there from a couple of the dev stands and stream some games and get 2 streams in while I was away. But as someone who's like, when you get partnered on Twitch and you have subscribers and things like that, they drop. Like, you work really, and it really is like a 2 steps forward, 1 step back deal when you're trying to build up a subscriber base, at least, and that's your core wage, So to take a day off for me is like barely. I might take 1 day off a week in 4.
Right.
So it's an ongoing thing. It's like it's traction, and it's like you lose traction if you disappear from Twitch for 3 days. People go, "Oh, I guess he's not streaming anymore," and they fuck off somewhere else.
Yeah.
And go, because there's no shortage of people providing free entertainment on Twitch.
Yeah.
So it's the maintaining of momentum, essentially, particularly if, like you say, as a professional streamer, it's not something you do for fun. It's something you do to get your rent paid, to keep the lights on. Clearly, it's
both. I wouldn't do another. I couldn't do another job because I love it. I love doing it. But there's at the same time there's that constant stress of got to can't wait, and it stresses you because if you wake up and you're not feeling particularly well, or I don't want to take any time off.
Yeah.
I can't even entertain the thought of getting flu or something like that.
Yeah.
There's a few of my friends that stream, and I've seen on Twitter, one of my friends, he's a partner streamer, he was away from stream for 3 weeks because he had 2 bouts of flu in a row and was just knocked off his feet. I can't imagine being away from Twitch for 3 weeks. That would be like soul destroying.
And did he suffer a detrimental effect to his numbers, subscribers,
yeah,
etc.?
Yeah, subs will drop, and because people, you've got like a core community of regulars, people that support you from the very beginning, and they're going to be around probably until the very end. Yeah. But then everyone else is kind of like floating voters. Do you know what I mean? They'll come in on the stream if they really enjoy it. They might go, "Oh, this guy's worth a subscription." And then if you disappear for 2 weeks, they'll go, "Oh, I guess he doesn't do it anymore," and then they'll just let it drop. So it's you've got to constantly be. It's kind of akin to, you've got like celebrities, say, look, B-listers, C-listers. The only reason they make a living is because they're constantly putting their face somewhere so that they're keeping themselves relevant. And I think that's YouTube the same, Twitch is the same. You've got to constantly be somewhere, putting yourself somewhere and putting yourself, in front of someone. And so it's a massive stress, but.
Brilliant. Well, keep it up. You look great. We all think you're awesome. Doggy, how about you, man? I can't imagine you suffer much stress about worrying about missing a stream and.
Well, I mean, for me, it's a bit different from Dan because it's not how I make my income. That's not how I make my living with the Twitch streaming. For me, the Twitch streaming is the hobby. It's what I do for fun, and any benefit that comes from that is all bonus all the way. But I do understand what you mean when if you have to be off for a while. And for me, recently, I've had a pile of real work that's just prevented me from streaming just from sheer exhaustion. And you do notice a drop in the numbers and what have you, but I couldn't imagine what it would be like to start seeing money disappear as you go through.
And the other thing is, and I talk about this because I try and stay quite transparent when I talk to people on streams. I don't, if I'm really lacking money or if I'm really doing well, I'll tell people and I'll say, I'm really worried because I didn't stream for 3 days and I'm worried about this, and I'll just be straight up and I'll tell people, which hopefully is a reason that some people will come back because I try and be honest about everything.
Yeah, absolutely. I think honesty is important in that regard. And like you say,
definitely.
People wouldn't necessarily expect you to say, we're doing really well this week. So by doing so, it's just that level of honesty and transparency for people who've chosen to support you financially.
But there's a real kind of like dissonance because you don't want to make it about money. I don't want my streams to be about, am I making 300 quid this week to cover my rent and my bills and stuff. I don't want that to be the focus of the stream, but at the back of your mind, you're always thinking, am I doing well enough to sustain my living and keep going, which, if you're doing it, it's great, but there's always that niggling thought that, shit, I've lost numbers or I've lost this and things aren't going up as much as I want and things like that. So there's this, you're in two minds about it all the time. You're trying to enjoy yourself and provide entertainment and play games and be fun, but in the back of your mind, you've got this business side as well, and it's kind of difficult to.
It does sound like you're spinning quite a lot of plates, but fair play to you. You seem to be particularly good at it. George, what do you think about this? I mean, do you have regularly scheduled slots, or is it more about the events and stuff you go to? I mean, what's the score? When do you like to get content out there?
YouTube is exactly the same thing in the sense that if you disappear for a bit, you will start losing subscribers. It's a bit daunting, really. I'm going to sound like a complete contradiction right now. Bear with me. I've just started college, so I haven't posted a video in about a month now. It's going to change. I've got one coming out. I'm actually vlogging the whole event, but I usually aim for about one a week, and that keeps people happy. If I keep going at that, you keep building up the fan base, and then,
Yeah, I mean, you do seem to have a very loyal fan base, which is nice. And I think from going to the YouTube event that you went to and things, Spin City, is it?
Some of the City.
Some of the City, that's right. You do seem to have this lovely, loyal fan base. So in your vlog,
lovely.
It's like, you know what, I'm going to have to head away for a couple of weeks. And again, that comes back to that whole transparency with the people, and I think that helped. Well, guys, I'm going to leave it there because we're going to need to move forward. I could chat to these guys forever. But let's have a wonderful, huge and passionate round of applause for our wonderful streamers. Thank you very much, everybody.
About the streamers on Twitch, it's like I'm never gonna make it and I hate to bitch. My channel hasn't turned out quite the way I want it to be. I want some cool emotes and a ton of awesome mods. 1,000 people watching me play card. A huge land room that's big enough for 10 plus me. I need 1,000 follows in every stream. A HD camera with a big green screen. Gonna join the 60 FPS club in 1080p. I want the best connection I can possibly get. The kind of PC rig that makes the nerds get wet. Running quad SLI and lots of SSDs. I'm never gonna sleep, I'll always be online. I got a ton of coffee, so I'll just be fine. Well, we all just wanna be big Twitch stars, hanging out at conventions with the VIP bars. The games come easy and the merch comes cheap. We're jacked on caffeine, so we just won't sleep. And we'll hang out with the coolest dudes. Gonna play multiplayer, killing all the noobs. Every PC fanboy's gonna end up there. All the cosplay girlies with their colored hair. And Hey, hey, I wanna be a Twitch star.